Steven, I'm mad at Netflix. Okay? I'm mad because they canceled the show The Burrows, Steven.
I saw that, and I didn't watch that show, but from your assessment of it, like when I saw that article saying it got canceled, I'm like, looks like Anthony was like right on the money with that show. Like he nailed it. Like he hit it right on the head.
Dude, I'm so mad because here it is, world. It's not that I love to love things, right? So when there's a show where I'm like, oh, it has like a supernatural situation and a good cast, and it's a unique story situation where it's like a twist on vampires in a way. I'm in. I'm in. You sold me, and then you blew it. You blew it completely throughout the series, and I was like,
You get
oh,
nothing.
you fumbled all of these balls. Like you didn't even juggle one. Like you dropped them all and then fell. Like you wily coyoted somehow.
Like you sold the show to Netflix, like D'Angelo from The Office, showing like how great you are at juggling. There was no balls there, and then the moment that Netflix threw you the balls, you were just like, "Oh yeah, I can't really do that." That was just like you could imagine if I was that good. Like,
That's exactly how the show was. And Steven, I wanted it to be good. It had moments. It had moments of greatness, right? Every once in a while, there would be something in the show. Obviously I can't go into it because I know not everyone has seen the show, and it's just not worth talking at. But just the fact that it can happen. Like, and I know shows have always been canceled, but it used to be more of an investment, dude. Like they used to have a pilot season for a reason. They were like, oh, we're gonna have all these pilots, we're gonna test them out, we're gonna see how people respond, if they have an audience, if there's any potential for growth, if people are gonna enjoy it. Now it seems that they're like, well, we're gonna put this out there and there's really no consequence because it doesn't matter. Like we're gonna sucker people in and maybe we'll get a few more subscriptions. If we don't get enough subscriptions, you're canceled. And it's like,
yep.
what? This isn't okay. So here I am to say I didn't like the show. It pissed me off, and I wanted more of it, Steven. I wanted more of it.
It needed to prove me wrong. Okay,
God.
season 2 needed to like really grab it by the reins and take it home, but
It's
no,
like that
never
old
will.
joke where it's like, oh, the restaurant, the food is terrible, and the portions are so small. It's like, what are you complaining about? The food's bad. But yes, I wanted more of it. Netflix, how dare you? How dare you cancel the things that I love to hate and I would have watched until I died? Anyway, we have other issues that actually affected our lives, like seeing familiar faces at work and suffering through.
Sully Erna himself.
Oh my God, guys, it's so ridiculous. Our lives are so silly. Anyway, stay tuned for more issues coming up. Hello, welcome to We Have Issues. I'm Anthony,
And I am Stevie Wildcard.
and every week my best friend Stevie Wildcard and I get together and we do our best to overcome the various issues and obstacles and life essence sucking vampires like Netflix. We overcome them in order to get something done. Most recently, what have we been working on, Steven?
So most recently, we've been working on a superhero, supernatural, culty comedy comic called Deathless. With that, we have taken a brief pause, but before we took said brief pause, we launched a Kickstarter, funded it, and all we have left are the finalizations of said project where I'm adding in the cameos, we're finishing the colors, the word balloons, and print readying it.
Yes.
We had to take a quick pause because we have this other project that has an extreme deadline where we both basically lose our lives for a month, but then it's rewarding and great and wouldn't have it any other way. But so yeah, that's where we're at the moment. But yeah, doing good on that front. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I started coloring the new pages you sent me. So Steve and I are working on this like kind of action adventure horror comedy,
Sexy seductive. Sexy seductive vampiric cult witchy slashing comic called Bloodlust.
Nice. So yeah, we're working on a comic called Bloodlust. It's been a lot of fun. It's kind of like a gun for hire situation. We were hired to make a vampire book that's sexy and fun. And we've been doing it. We're on the third issue of this thing, which is pretty good. And it's been really cool to be able to be hired for something like this. So we're, professional comic book, creators.
It really is cool. It is a cool thing to like bring up and mention, and I do enjoy it. It's fun.
It's neat. It's a very weird, unique series that, it's not our absolute passion project, but it's something that's really cool, and it is something that we get to be creative with, which is a lot of fun. And
And it's something we've, with the reins we were handed, we were able to inject a lot of us into it because it was kind of a
yeah,
world neither one of us necessarily explore. But
yeah,
it's also opened our eyes to different things too. So I would say mutually beneficial. It's
yeah,
it gives me more drawing practice, and since I have even more like deadline esque because it's an actual like direct like this needs like things like that. I basically just have no life when that comic is being
It's
worked on.
it's
Like that's
it's
just how I
true.
live.
It's frustrating, but it does show us that we're capable of adapting when our feet need to be held to a specific
Yeah.
fire. So it's something, and I feel that, but like we've always been kind of like really lax with that with our own personal projects. It's always been kind of like a gift and a curse for us, where it's like,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I'll slack a little, sometimes you'll slack a little, and and it's just like it takes us a while to get a project done. With this project, we have a set deadline and we see that we're capable of it, so we know we can do it for our personal projects. It's just the amount of opportunity cost,
I'll be
is
honest.
it?
There's a lot of Like, I
Yeah,
mean, I have to sacrifice time with the kids, time
it
with Tina,
sucks, dude. Yeah,
very much so. Like Tina's like picking up the kids by herself
yeah,
from gym and things like that. Like, there's definitely a lot of things that I wouldn't choose to do normally. Like, I
right.
would be like, nope, sorry, this is life. This is how I'm a father.
Yeah,
But
100%.
in these moments, Tina's got me 100%, and we just grind it and get it done. So
Yeah, I'm similarly, but I'm trying to color as much as I can at night, and I'm starting to wake up earlier and get more coloring done in the mornings. Like I was, because of summer, I was able to like sleep in a little bit, but now I'm like, what am I doing? I'm just kind of I'm wasting that
yeah,
extra hour that I could have just coloring. So
that
I'm getting
block of
back into.
time.
Yeah, I'm getting back into that. But other than that, other than just talking about the things we're working on, we also talk about the issues we face, the distractions, the weird, silly, awkward, synchronistic stories, Stephen, the things that go bump in our lives. So did you have anything like funny, interesting, odd, weird,
I'm gonna be
unusual?
honest, bro. I've been a super shut in lately, so
Yeah,
like
that's
I've
fair.
really got nothing.
That,
I got nothing going
dude,
on. Like
and
you can ask me. There's some nights I'm just up to like 12:30,
yeah.
like before work, just work drawing. We're just watch. We've been watching this show called Bosch. It's like a police show.
Oh, yeah,
It's
yeah,
from
I
like
remember.
2015s.
Yeah, I
It's
remember.
actually pretty decent. It's pretty good.
Cool.
A lot of random actors in it. By the way, like Mac's dad is like an old cop in it, and
Oh,
it's so
nice.
funny because we're figuring out who these people are. But that's basically been the extent of my crazy stories is just streaming stuff while drawing. So
It's I'm so glad you said that, because like I've been feeling the same way, where I'm like, I used to work, like previously in Anthony's life. I worked at Michael's for freaking a million years, right? So I always had
mhm.
stories about interacting with people, right? I don't work in a place like that anymore. I work in a little office where we do creative, like digital design stuff all day, and we watch movies and listen to music. We have the occasional walk-in, because it is like it's sort of a storefront, but it's mostly an online store that I work
It's
through.
the equivalent of walking into like an Italian pizzeria circa Italian Mafia 19 whatever. Like
Right,
that's
right. And it's like
that's
yeah. We don't really want to serve you. We can make you a
we
pizza.
serve the online customers, but we do have a brick and mortar store. So I guess if you want to come in and you're a local, you can
One
come in. But
100%. So I work in this place, so I don't have a lot of those stories. I have like fun, like every day is full of like ridiculous kind of funny inside jokes, but it's a lot of you had to be there sort of stuff.
mhm.
Or I also have like I have coworkers who are going through various dramas of in their own lives that isn't my business, not to share, like
Mhm.
I will gossip with my wife. I'll tell you off camera, but it's not for them. It's not fair to do that to people, my
No.
coworkers. And I love, I really love
You
them.
didn't do that. You didn't do that to coworkers. You didn't
At
do that to
Michael's,
coworkers
yeah.
at Michael's either.
I,
It
I,
was about the nameless customer 23
yes, it was
when this
about the
drama
old
occurred.
ladies who said they wanted to punch me in the face. It was about the people who
Hmm.
would steal things, walk out, put them in a bag, and then walk in and try to return them. Like those kind of funny things. It was, like bathroom story, like silly stuff. Most of the time here, I don't really have stories I can share that make sense because I can't give
Hmm.
context. But this time, Stephen, I do have a brief story that I
A
just want to share.
walk-in.
We have a walk-in story. So let me give you guys just a little brief history of my experience with my current job with walk-ins, right? It's a place where people know we sell. collectibles and cards. So what happens often is people will procure, obtain cards or collectibles of some sort in various ways. Sometimes people die. Sometimes people are murdered. I don't know. I
Mm-hmm.
can't ask these questions. But these cards are obtained somehow, and the people who seem to walk through the door are often, Stephen, in a state of disarray where they want a quick $40, right? Like it's almost always that case, and it doesn't happen often. It's not what we do. It isn't a pawn shop. It's not,
Mm-hmm.
but the owner, right? He's willing to hear people out and he's willing to help people if he can. He's actually like sincerely a very very kind awesome person. Like he really is. Like
Yep.
watching him like just try to give people more than what these cards are worth sometimes just to help people
Mm-hmm.
out is it's pretty it's
He'll
it
still make close to break even, maybe, or
yeah.
maybe a little. But yeah, like
But dude, I've seen him
it's about helping the people. You're
let
giving me
me
something of value to somebody, so
yeah,
like
like
I'll help you out. You're looking
just
for some money. I
I like
got you.
just like okay, I've seen people on multiple occasions walk in looking for Pokemon cards for their kids. Not like, oh, I really want the rarest Pokemon card, but just a Pokemon card for their kids. And on multiple occasions, my boss, the owner of this company, has just walked into one of the vaults that we have there, grabbed a bunch of cards and just given them to them. Like I've seen this happen multiple occasions. He's a very generous person, and very generous with his time. I've watched him listen to people pitch him various things and just sit there and be very patient with them. And it's amazing, right? This time, Steven, we get a call, okay? We get a call, and my boss always takes his phone calls on speakerphone. Always. Okay?
Did you
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So this is what happens.
obedient?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you guys. Okay. So so we get a call. Well, he gets a call on his cell phone because it's the business number, is his phone. So he gets a call and he answers it and it's and his voice is like, "Hey, where are you? Are you there? I have these cards." Just like really very quick, very abrasive, right? And so we're all like kind of snickering at work, like working on our computer, like, ah, whatever this is, it's gonna be interesting. So my boss, he's like, yeah, man, I'm here. He's like, what do you have? He's like, I have cards. He goes, oh, you're looking. Do you want cards? You looking to buy or sell? He goes, sell. I want to sell them. I have cards I want to sell. So my boss is like, yeah, yeah, yeah. We don't, we're mostly an online store, but if you want to bring stuff in, I'll help you. I'll take a look. What do you have? And he's like, oh, I have these X-Men cards. I have some cards, different cards. I think they're worth some money. I have some money, they're cards. And so Chris is kind of like chuckling a little bit, just like this is a character, So he's like, all right, yeah, man, I'll be here until 3 o'clock, whatever. Stop by. And the guy goes, okay, yeah, I'll be there soon. I'll be there soon. Like it'll take me a minute to drive there, but I'll be there. Then Steven, Chris goes, he goes, okay, all right, I'll see you soon. Bye. And he doesn't hang up. He expects the guy to hang up. The guy doesn't hang up. What happens is he puts the phone down, and all we hear is, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. There are cards. I'm gonna bring the cards. They're gonna look at the cards. And we just hear this, and Chris is looking at his phone, and he looks at us, and and he's like, he didn't say bye. And he's like, so he's like, yeah, I'm gonna. And Chris goes, okay, okay, okay. And he just like, he stopped and he goes, I can't do this to this guy. He's like, I'm not gonna listen to this guy's, whatever he's doing. But we're all snickering, right? Because we're like, what was that? That was what, like he must have set his phone down. He's talking to someone else. So time goes by. We have lunch. We're like in the middle, like right at, like some people are still eating lunch. I finished up lunch. I'm more, going back to work. Chris gets another call. He answers it on speakerphone as he always does. And the voice is the same voice, and it goes, "Where are you? I'm here. Where are you?" And Chris is like, and he like, he leans and he's like, "Yeah, man, we're here. We'll unlock the door. Hang on 1 second. And so someone gets up, unlocks the door, and in
Do
walks
you have any idea yet? You have no
no
idea yet.
Steven.
Oh my god,
I had
that
no
that
idea.
reveal.
Steven, I had no idea. Okay, friends of the show. Friends of the show. This is the man who walks into the door is a man I have known since I was like 16 years old. A man like like,
A legend, really.
even he's a legend, okay? This man walks in and I immediately
Oh my
clock him.
god.
I'm like toward the back of the office and it's one large room where our where we work. It's a fairly large office with like a few different areas, but we all work in one area. So when he walks into the area, I'm toward the end and I look and I know he doesn't see me, but I immediately clock him. I'm like, "Oh my God."
And
Like
everything makes sense.
everything made so much sense, Steven. I was so happy. I almost started crying because I was like, I just pointed to him and I was like, oh my God, it's Uncle Jason. And it was amazing, dude.
The fact that you were gifted a Sully Erna story, like it's almost like it's just like anyone that's close to him gets their own story. You know what I'm saying?
It was so good. So here's the thing. He doesn't see me for a second, right? So I'm just sitting there and I'm letting them do their thing. Chris doesn't know I know this man, and this man doesn't know that he has an in, like with us, So he starts like he's like, yeah, yeah, I got these cards, and no, I mean I try to take good care of them, and he's like taking them out, and Chris is looking at them, and he's like, yeah, yeah, man. And you can kind of tell like he's like, I'm not so sure about this. And I go, and I just kind of like raise my hand a little bit to see if I can get Jason's attention. And he finally looks over and he gets closer and he looks and he steps closer and he makes a face. And dude, your uncle,
The,
to his credit, said, Anthony? And I went, Jason! And I got up and I gave him a hug. And I was like, oh my God. And Chris was like, what's going on? And I was like, so this guy, I was like, I've known him since I was 16 years old. This is Steven's uncle. And he was like, oh, this is Steven's uncle? He's like, oh my God. He's like, yeah, no, Steven's like family. He's like, yeah, we're like family here. And Jason's like, yeah, I basically, like, I was there. I was there, like, when he was raised. I was there. It's like,
to help this deal out, buddy. I never chased him and tried to beat him half to death because he called me Sully Erna from Godsmack. That never happened.
guys, so if you're joining us for the first time, first of all, thank you. Welcome to our weird show. I know that some of it is like it gets a little inside crazy silly jokes and stuff, but like please hit the subscribe button and the like button and comment something for the algorithm. It definitely helps us. But you should know that Steven's uncle has been just an over the top hilarious character. Now, I will say he's usually a very kind man. He's always been nice to me. He's never said anything rude or bad or anything. He just happens to be a larger than life. I'm definitely not an NPC because I don't even know what the game is sort of character.
I I'm sure, and I'm not saying this to like say anything, like, but I do think maybe there's something going on. But I mean, he's just someone he's my mom's little brother. He lived just a different life, and yeah, he is a larger than life character. He is, the way his brain works and the way he functions is way different than almost anyone I've ever met.
Dude, okay, quickly for the people who haven't heard the story, because I probably told it in like episode 6 or something of the show. There was one time I was over Steven's house, like around high school age, like just probably slightly after high school, and Uncle Jason was going to McDonald's, and I was like, I ate meat at the time, and I was like, oh yeah, I want some McDonald's, and I had a $20 bill, and for me at the time, I was like, this is all my money. This is all the money I have. So
and $20 back then bought McDonald's 4 times. You know, I mean, not to sound like an old timer, but old school dollar menu $20 bill is getting you weeks worth of McDonald's.
That's exactly the case. So I as my 19-year-old, 20-year-old, whatever self, I was like, Jason, I would please get me 2 McDoubles, which are from the dollar menu. It's $1 for a double cheeseburger, So I'm like, please give me 2 McDoubles. That's all I want. So he goes, and he gets 2 double quarter pounders. He gives me back like $3 and change at best. I was like, this is all my money. Like, what do you do? I have to put this sandwich in my gas tank now. Like, I am broke. I have to sell this on the street and dance around the box for change. Like, what are we doing here? Anyway, that's and he was like, what? You said double cheeseburger. And he was so confused why I was like confused and upset. But anyway, he's very nice. And so my boss, So my boss looks at oh, so my boss looks at him and he's like, I don't know, man. I guess I can give you like $100 for these cards. And Jason goes, how about 120? And Chris goes, how about 80? Steven,
I've seen him do that in person. I know exactly what you're talking
Chris does
about.
it. He does it all the time. It's so funny. And
Because he doesn't need it. He doesn't need the thing. This isn't going to make me shit. This is just I have to spend time to find a buyer for this. Like
exactly what it is. Yeah.
this is
So
peanuts. This is me picking up the shells off the floor, buddy.
yeah. So then he's like, no, I'm just kidding. He's like, I'll give you 120 years, Steven's uncle, Anthony, like your family. I'll give you what you're asking for. So here you go. And he gave him the money. Jason was like, oh, see you later. And then he left. And I didn't tell anyone any of my Jason stories. I just like sat there by myself thinking like how miraculous it is that this legend came into this door on this day. Yeah, it was
With
amazing.
this freaking phone call. I just got to tell a quick Jason story that I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know if
do
I've
it.
ever shared on the podcast.
Oh heck yeah.
We can do a retelling of Sully or not, like on a different episode. But did I ever tell you the first time he ever met Jill?
I don't
Do you
think
know
so.
this story?
No, I don't.
So when Tina and I were dating and stuff, we had like my mom and dad were divorced at this point, so it was like my mom and us kids trying to put together because we always got together for Christmas, big family get together.
Right.
So it's all of us trying to like kind of navigate Christmas, all that. But Jill and Ricky were just getting together. This was right after her parents divorced too,
Right.
and we invited them over for Christmas dinner.
Mm-hmm.
So no one's met Jill yet. Tina is, with I've been with Tina maybe a year or so at this point,
Okay.
and so Jill gets to meet Uncle Jason, and
Oh boy.
Jason, when he walks up to her, he just goes, and then he walks away. Okay, and then like literally like just
Just
like just
he chimps her. Okay.
dude, the words like his brain couldn't formulate thought. So we're like, we all know what just happened.
Jill is a beautiful woman. She is a very lovely woman, a beautiful woman who has a nice figure, and she looks great just as a person.
So the whole house knew exactly what happened. We
Yeah,
never
everyone-
needed to be
everyone.
explained. We'll just let that go. Let's all have a good time. So we're all sitting on the patio, like maybe like 30, 40 minutes later. We're all kind of
Yeah.
just talking, just literally just hanging there. And Jason walks out. He goes, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry about earlier. I saw you. I just couldn't think of anything to say. Like something like that. Like he just basically admitted the thing that we all picked up on that we were just gonna let go. He just comes out and like, hey, remember how awkward that was back there? I'm just gonna go ahead and bring it back up and explain to you. Yes, what you were thinking is exactly what happened. That is what happened. That happened in front of Ricky. In front of
In front of everyone.
that's just and like I need you all to
so
know
good.
that Jason. I don't know. I do think that my mom is very sweet. My uncle Randy and my uncle Rick, but Dowds are different.
Yeah.
My mom's side of the family is different. They come from like countryside of Pennsylvania. They're just different people. I definitely get my cynicism and like I definitely get some of my more normal traits from my dad's side. Believe it or not, my father,
Yeah.
but his side of the family is definitely where I get some of my like. But the doubt in me is just constantly fighting that. It's a constant
yeah.
war, and Jason is the pinnacle of that. So Jason.
Oh.
That is so great that you got such a great like just that like real life setup of you hearing this crazy person on the phone
I couldn't believe it.
and then that person be like it's like it's like the greatest payoff to a joke ever. Like, oh, this guy's a character. I wonder who he is. Oh my god, it's fucking Jason.
Oh, it's Jason. One of the craziest, one of the funniest, most ridiculous,
Like-
random like characters in my
That's so
life.
fun. And why didn't Jason tell me? I would have said Jason. I would have given Chris a heads up. I would have been
I
like,
know,
"Hey, my
I
uncle's
know.
coming. He's got these cards." I will say, like, when you told me cards he was selling, I'm like, the only thing I can think of is I remember when I was a kid, I used to love flipping through his binder because he literally had the complete. Because he was so.
Yeah.
Had to have everything perfect. He literally had the complete sets of 2 different X-Men cards from '95. I think it was
That's
the Fleer Ultra and then
Yeah,
the
that's
other
what-
set. He had
That's
literally
what they
the
were.
complete set.
I didn't look at them, but that's what they were. So
My only concern with the reason why I was asking the if they were in good conditions, because
Yeah.
Jason is meticulous, but he's also a smoker, and I don't know if
Yep.
they smoke in that
That's
house
no,
or,
Chris
you know what I'm
said they
saying?
smell
That's
like smoke. He was like, yeah, they smell like
yep,
smoke and they're like yellowed now. So he's like,
yeah,
but
that's
whatever,
that.
you know. We'll see. But we'll see if Chris gets anything for him. I love those cards so much though, dude. I remember like as a kid, I never like had a cool binder of them. I just always had like a lunchbox of them. It was always just like they were in a
Mhm.
pile somewhere. I was like,
It was such cool
there they
artwork
yeah,
too.
I
Like,
always.
but
But yeah,
the Cable versus Deadpool card from that set specifically is really cool. Like Deadpool's in the background with like the sword and the gun, and Cable's in the foreground.
oh
I
yeah.
remember that set really well. The Venom cards from that set are really cool. Like there's a lot of that was like the pinnacle of X-Men cards. So it was 95. I think it was like 95 was like the biggest.
Yeah.
That was the
That's
big deal
awesome.
set anyway.
Yeah,
But
Marvel cards. Oh man. All right. So that'll do it for our stories for the week. You know, Steven, I feel like it's been a couple weeks since we've done like a legitimate questions from the colony segment.
ooh.
So I mean, do you mind hitting us with like a sweet
The
intro?
campfire embers are soft and slow, so grab a stick and rustle those fucking stones up. Get that campfire going and ask that shit so we can answer all of your blow ups. Because it's questions from the colony with Steven and Anthony. We're gonna answer all of your questions regardless of how well you did with the fire. Questions from the colony.
Questions from the colony. So if
They
you
did
don't,
not get that fire started well at all.
no, of
They
course
did
they
not.
wouldn't. I mean, how could
It's
they?
still smoldering.
Well, our first question is, how do I start this fire? No, so if you're joining us for the first time, welcome, welcome to our weird little colony of people with issues. If you made it this far, you're definitely one of us. You belong here, and you should stay forever. Enjoy the Kool-Aid. It's plentiful and disgusting, but we do offer all of you, colonists and otherwise, the opportunity to ask us any question you want. If you want, if it's about creating comic books, if it's about comic books, about monsters, about movies, if it's about life, the universe, and anything, we welcome your questions and we like to answer them just for fun and so you can get to know us a little bit as human people. So we do have some questions. Let me see. So our first question comes from KT Carlisle, who has a Kickstarter out for a new book. You should go check that out. Dude, did you see, by the way, she has 50 backers and it's over $2,000
That
now?
that's awesome. She was funded the first day, like the
First
first
day,
like 3 hours.
day one.
It was
She's
like
doing,
so quick.
but if you're out there and you're looking, if you like murder mysteries or like young adult witchy fiction at all, you should check out the book and go back it. And if you get a physical reward, you're going to get like a free bookmark, I think, and a free something else. You get free
Oh,
stuff now
oh,
because
awesome! I think I got the hologram
yeah,
heart like or the special cover book, so I get a
yeah.
bookmark. That's
Heck yeah,
awesome.
dude. Yeah, it's awesome because like she already met two of her stretch goals. So like, yeah, go
That's
help her beat the
amazing.
next one so we get more free stuff. But anyway, her question is, do you think we'll ever get answers to the Buzz Lightyear's identity crisis? Steven, it drives me crazy because the Toy Story movies are all over the place with their continuity as far as whether or not the toys know their toys, right?
Mm.
For some reason, Buzz Lightyear toys never know their toys. Some toys seem to know their toys fresh out of the package, right? Like when they go to the toy store, the Barbie toys act like themselves. Whatever like they're selling, so like the tour guide Barbie acts like a tour guide, but it also talks about the business of selling toys and being a toy. So it's aware, but it also has like the powers, like latent, like a
Mm.
savantism, like a toy savantism. Like they just have the identity in them
I'm a
somewhere. But
hyper specified Barbie doll, so
yeah, but so like they have this like individuality, but they still have a self-awareness of being a toy. I will say, and this isn't a spoiler for the movie itself, but I will say there's a moment in the new Toy Story that we saw, which is great, by the way, way better than I expected it to be, and way better than number four. But dude, there's a moment in that movie where one of the Buzz Lightyears sees a human and automatically goes stiff and falls. And then when the human goes by, he's like, "What was that? Why did that happen?" That's never been a thing in Toy Story. Toy Story has
mm.
always been the toys move, and then when the people come, they choose to freeze in place. And that's made evident by like in the very first movie, you see them talk to Sid. Like Woody directly speaks to Sid and scares him. Like they can choose to move. It's not like being stuck in the like a gargoyle in the sun. It's literally a choice. So I don't know. It's very weird, but it was like a newer model, so maybe it has something to do with programming. I don't know. But to answer KT's question, I don't know, Steven. What do you think? Are we ever gonna get an answer? I don't think so. I keep trying. I keep watching these damn movies, and they're like, nope, loser.
There's no consistency. Tina told me that Woody has a gut
Yeah,
in this one. Like he's like, now wait, does that imply?
Steven, it makes no
Does
sense.
that imply
Yep.
that toys can eat? And
This
what
is
do they eat?
Okay, okay. This is my theory of that. That is completely it's unfounded, or at least it's unsubstantiated, but it's a good theory, I think. Is that since he's an older toy and he's a rag doll, much like a pillow settling and being gross at the
The
bottom,
stuffing is moving
the
down
stuffing
into a
is
weird
moving down.
spot.
That's what I think it is.
Okay, I
That's
can
what
accept that.
yeah, that's how because I had the same thought. I was like, I really hate the fact that they're like, oh, let's make him an old man. It was funny. Like there were a few funny parts in it, but I was at the same time, I'm like, he's
The bald spot was in the trailer, and that makes
yeah,
sense. The rub
that
mark
makes
from the hat.
from the
The
hat,
rub mark
sure.
from that. So I think your theory's good. It's too bad they didn't like specify that, but I think
He
that's good.
should have like it would have made more sense if like he just got floppy on top and he was like, things settle weird as you get older or whatever,
Yeah.
or as you have more experiences. Like I get it. That would have made sense. Meh. I agree though. It was very weird for them to do that. There were a couple of characters in the movie, and like this isn't a spoiler. There were a couple of characters in the movie that like are literally just there to be a cameo. Where I'm not gonna spoil who, but it's like literally like they do nothing in the movie except show up. It's very weird.
Hmm.
Woody's not one of them. All right, let me see. Her other question is, where's one place you've never been that you'd like to visit at least once in your life? What do you think, Stephen? What's one place you would love to?
Japan. I don't know if I could ever like do the flight because it's so long, but I've always wanted to go to Japan. Like
Nice.
anywhere in Asia, really. But like it'd be so cool to see Tokyo or
That would
like
be
even like the countryside of Japan and just that'd just be really cool. Like I've never done that. I mean, Australia
Yeah,
sounds cool too, but once again,
dude.
it's so far, man. It's such
And
a
it's
long
made
flight.
of
I don't
death.
know.
It's a lovely
Yeah.
land of death. I don't like
I mean, but we're Floridians and we're like the Australia of America. So I
That's
feel like
fair.
if anyone can tackle it, it would be us.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Wow, what a lovely country of death. Yeah, you're true.
Exactly. Yeah, where would I want to go? I don't know. Somewhere nice, like somewhere that has like maybe beautiful mountains somewhere.
See, Japan, man, Japan's got some pretty
Japan
cool
is
mountains like
gorgeous.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I have to think about it.
It'd be cool to see the cherry blossoms.
That would be amazing. Yeah. All right.
I've
Then
heard Italy's really cool, like
I
Sicily
would,
or like
I would love to go to
Tuscany.
Italy or like
I've heard the food's incredible.
yeah, I mean, just generally, like to go to like an ancient, like an ancient Greece, or like to see Greece and like some of the ancient buildings, or like go to Rome, see the Colosseum. Like to see what's left
Mm.
of these places that have existed for thousands of years. Like that's really interesting. Like I'd like to see. It sucks, Stephen. Like if I had the opportunity to see certain things without other tourists there, I would love to see like the Sistine Chapel. Like I would love to walk in there and like look up and like just be in awe of that work. But like I also know that I would be overwhelmed by the experience. Like and I don't even get very overwhelmed by crowds, but it's just not what I want. It's like going to see a band, but someone's in your ear just going la 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 the whole time the band's playing, and you're like, I not enjoying this. This isn't great, and that's kind of how I feel in those situations. I'm like, eh. So yeah, I think like more just general, like general environments. So like, yeah, Italy would be really cool. Like going to see like the outside of places and like beautiful buildings, or like somewhere in like the UK where like there are nice castles. Maybe I'll go on the American Werewolf in London tour. Like go through and like see the go to stay on the moors. So let me see. So then her last question is, what's been the biggest influence and inspiration on your writing and illustrations? So what's been your biggest inspiration or influence?
Biggest influence. Let's see. I always do. Let's. I don't know. I lately it's obviously this project. I'm more or less driven by the completion of the project and how it rewards us. But with Deathless, what's like, I guess not motivating. Like, what's my inspiration for drawing? Like I definitely, if you're talking about like where my characters come from, like to an extent of like how they're designed or the way they look, is definitely like someone who has battled through drawing Dragon Ball Z characters for many
Yeah.
years and then injecting it with Western style comic book art, and that's basically what my style has become. But like, yeah, I mean, I always try to be like, I do like someone I continuously look up is Carlo, because
Mm.
he draws the new spawns and stuff, and I'm always so inspired by his
Oh
works and
yeah.
so, his like the thing about him that makes his work so impressive to me is like the amount, like how he uses the black and white, like how he
Oh
uses his ink contrast. Like it's so, his line work is like clean, like a manga. Like it's just straight lines, like just clean
yeah.
lines. But then there's like these heavy inks,
Yep.
but not like, I actually ink a lot more than he does, for example, like especially on Bloodlust. But like it's amazing how much he can show with like the line work itself, like not so much the heavy shadows. It's cool.
Yeah. Oh
How
man.
about you, sir?
Oh, as far as like writing influences, I mean, I don't know. I've always been really heavily inspired by like obviously like Kevin Smith and Quentin Tarantino and
Mm-hmm.
like screenwriters, and as far as like comics, it's always been like Madman, and Scud. If most of our projects are going to be some weird combination of Madman and Scud. It's just like because those are like my favorite sort of things, where it's like the sincere, thoughtful, like kind of existential, like real slice of life, you know, personal, semi-autobiographical sort of story, and then the absurd, excessively crazy genre that you can just push that into and make a little like delicious
Make it
sandwich.
collide.
Yeah, and I just like I love those things. I love when you can take the silliness and the sincerity and find a way to put them together that in an entertaining way. I freaking love that, and like I hope I do it well. I'm trying, like I think I've gotten better over the years. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's like them, a lot of filmmakers, a lot of screenwriters. I don't know, dude. Like I saw a movie. I watched a movie the other night called "They Will Kill You." Steven, this is
That
like
sounds
one of
cool.
my new favorite movies. Steven, one of my new favorite.
Really?
It's
That's awesome.
Steven, it's insane. It's so much fun. It's literally like it's like if you took Kill Bill and instead of fighting like against a bunch of samurais or like and like ninja warriors, she's fighting Satanists. And there's a lot of crazy demonic like stuff going on.
Did I
And
see that? Is it like on one of the random stream? Like I think I
it's
saw
on
it
Net
advertised on one.
no, it is. I forget where it's
I
not
think
on.
I saw that advertised, and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah,
this looks cool, babe." And he's like, "It looks scary." I'm like,
dude,
"It might be. It looks like it's more action, like
it's more
comedy.
action.
Like,
It's action violence is what it is. It's
yeah,
like action goofy horror. It's not. It's basically
like
like,
pop out."
dude. Okay, it's kind of like Kill Bill meets Evil Dead. Evil Dead 2 is what it's like. It's like Kill Bill meets
Mm-hmm.
Evil Dead 2, where it's like goofy, splatter blood everywhere, with like crazy, jokey horror stuff, but no real horror, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. The reason I bring it up is just like seeing things like that. Like I wanted to know what other people thought of it because I haven't heard anyone talk about it, right? So I went online and I go on like Rotten Tomatoes or whatever. I'm like, let me see like what people think, and a lot of people it doesn't have a great score, but a lot of people were like in line with what I think, where they're like, oh, this is what I was hoping it would be. It's a goofy fun time, full of like crazy violence and like fun situations. And then there are other people who were just like terribly hating it, like just like
Really?
aggressively, like they were like, oh, that's trying to be Quentin Tarantino and failing. And I'm like, do you realize what Quentin Tarantino is and like what he's been doing? He's been doing references to every movie he loves for his entire career. Like, and he knows it. And he says like great artists don't borrow, great artists steal from the things they love. He's just like, and that's what we do. And like that's the movie feels like someone was like, I absolutely love Quentin Tarantino. I love filmmaking. I love Evil Dead 2. I'm gonna put all these things together into a pot, and I'm gonna cook what I hope is a very delicious meal. Is it going to be like the most mentally nutritious? No, but it's gonna be
No,
freaking great.
but
And
it's
you're
going to be that great microwavable snack at 1 in the morning that's going to satiate your stomach for the rest of the night.
100%. And I just like those are the things that influence me most. Like when I see that stuff, I'm like, this person's making a thing that they love, that they want to see, and it resonates with me, and I freaking love it. And that's what I like. I want to just make stuff that I love, that I want to see, and hopefully it resonates with other people. And that's all. That's why I brought that up. All right, let's see. We have Stephen. I think this is the easiest question in the world, so I'm gonna give it to you, right? I'm gonna defer to you, Stephen. If you had to give up if you had to give up one of these things, which would it be? One, socks. You're never allowed to wear socks again. In winter, nope. Those footsies gonna get calloused. Or media of any kind. So no music, television, photos, internet, or dun 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 books. You get electricity, but in warm toes, but no media.
Really sucks to have to do my job without socks, but I don't think I can give up like entertainment.
Right? I
Like
okay.
I'm gonna get rid of all entertainment for socks.
There's
I
no
can't.
chance.
I,
No there's no chance I could give up all media over socks. I will say, just like if you ask me like a million genie questions, I'll find a way to get my wish, or get whatever I want from the freaking genie. I feel like, okay, if you wear like Uggs or whatever, if you wear like fluffy boots, that's not a sock. It's soft inside. It's a soft interior of a boot. It's not a sock. It's
so all I do is I buy an UGG, and then I buy a boot that's a
yeah,
size bigger than that UGG,
yeah,
and then my UGGs are socks.
yeah. There you go. Now I have shoe socks. They're not socks. I'm cheating, but I'm
Steven,
not.
why are you tying old T-shirts to your feet? It's just to stop the sand. It's just to stop the sand.
So, okay. I think we both know our answer. Okay, here we are with our good friend Sam V. I will say Sam has asked historically some of our favorite questions in this. So let's see what she has in store for us. First of all, the first question she has is, well, let's get the Pokemon one out of the way. She says, "What's Steven's favorite Pokemon from Kanto region and the Hoenn region?"
Okay, so Kanto is easy. I was actually gonna get nervous for a second because I do have some ties. Actually, I still do have a tie, but I'm gonna lean into Arcanine. Arcanine is my actual favorite Pokemon, probably of all time. But Bulbasaur, not Venusaur, Bulbasaur is probably tied with Arcanine, but I will give it to Arcanine.
Okay.
In the Hoenn region, I'm gonna give you my boy. Yeah, Swampert. It's gonna be Swampert for sure. I know Swampert doesn't get a lot of love, but I love Swampert. Swampert's such a cool mud boy
Okay.
by
Um,
far.
so Sam's next question is, do you think it hurts the oranges when we juice them? And if so, what sound do you think they make after you disregarded their plea for life?
Oranges. This is what they would sound like. I feel like that's
I feel like that's
I
pretty accurate.
like a whistle, like
Yeah.
collapsing liquid escaping.
And now I will say this is probably my favorite question from her this time is, who do you think would win in a fight between Ted Mosby and Jake Peralta, but they're both from the wizarding world of Harry Potter and they have wands and the educational background to support said usage. And they're not allowed to use
Ooh.
any unforgivable curses and go.
I have to say, Peralta could take Mosby in like a fisticuff
In a fist fight,
situation,
for
but
sure. He's a
Peralta
cut
is
butt.
yeah. Peralta isn't, but he's notoriously a slacker who does get the job done. Whereas Ted Mosby is pretentious, is a douche, but he does read up on his shit. He
Yep.
would be like the
Yep.
Hermione in this
He would be
fight,
the
and he would
Hermione,
definitely know.
100%.
He
Yeah.
would definitely know this, and he would like correct how he pronounced the spell too. He was like, "It's actually Leviosa," and then he would hit like Peralta across.
Oh, 100%. I like
Mosby definitely has this one. There's no way he doesn't. Like,
no, I mean if it's a one for one, like one-on-one wizard battle with wands, and it's just no surprise, like no one catches anyone by surprise. You're not really rolling initiative and be like, haha, I got the jump on you or whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna say Ted Mosby too, only for the exact reason. All right, let me see. Thomas Floyd asks, What would the monsters who do on Maple Street look like told from the point of view of the aliens? Have you ever seen that episode of Twilight Zone?
No, I have not.
No. Okay, so there's an episode of Twilight Zone. They must know that I like the Twilight Zone because that's a very specific question. And I was like, when I read that, I was like, it's a good thing I
Anthony's
love
got
the
this.
Twilight Zone, you know. But okay, so the monsters who do on Maple Street is the episode where it's a small town in a small street, and all of the power goes out in the street, and everyone comes out and they're like, what's going on? They're trying to figure it out, and they're like, oh no, maybe it's like a war, maybe and they're trying to figure out what's happening. And one of the houses on the street suddenly has power, and they're like, oh my god, is it them? Are they doing this to us? Are they like a Russian plant? Are they blah blah blah? And they start like trying like freaking out, and they're kind of like rioting a little bit, and it's just they begin to eat each other essentially. And at the end of the episode, it flies up and you realize it's aliens doing this to test humans and our ability to stay calm in these situations of duress, and how easy it is to just like flip our chaos switch, just by doing something as simple as turning off.
Deconstruct thousands of years of society in just the smallest time frame.
Exactly. Yeah, it takes nothing at all for us to just turn on each other and just fling our poop. So from the point of view of aliens, I imagine it would look a lot like it does for anyone in any position of power right now, like just doing very little to help us. No, I don't know. I feel like it would be a lot like watching the news, not like watching something entertaining or something you actually want to watch, but like watching the news. That's what I feel like it would be like. They're just looking out their window like, well, this was fun for a minute. Like when they were doing that story about the dog, it was good, and now it's just sad. Now I can't even.
This is hard.
I
This
kind of
is a
want to turn
hard
it off,
watch.
but if I turn it off, I won't know what's happening, and now I feel like I'm stuck. And now
This
if I
is like a Judd Apatow movie where they should have just ended it like 33 minutes ago, and then
what
everything would have been fine.
happened to cut out that fifth act? What's happening? Not all
What is
about
happening?
you. So yeah, no, I feel like it would be like watching the news in the worst way possible. Our next question comes from our friend Stephen McDougal. He says, "What's the weirdest dream you've had? Not a nightmare that leaves you in cold sweats, but something that like had you waking up asking yourself what you ate last night, like a really weird dream." What about you, dude? I know I have a couple of really crazy ones.
Oh, I've been having like dreams lately, but then like I don't remember when I wake up. I had a dream like the other night. It was like a post-apocalyptic dream,
Yeah.
and like I was trying to explain it to Tina. It was like dystopian, but like it wasn't.
Okay.
Like myself in the dream knew we were in a dystopian situation, but like we still had power in our house. We still had
Right.
stuff. But I opened like the blinds, and like my blinds were like my slider was where my couch is. Like I had like a 3-door slider there instead of like on the side, and there was this kid in the backyard,
Mhm.
like kind of just like moseying around, and like um I was like, and Tina's like, we can't open the door, and I'm like, I know, but like the kid's just out there by himself. And as soon as I opened the door, the kid went and just leapt into the air, like all like
What?
crazy and demonic looking.
Yeah.
And like, and I'm not trying to get religious. This was just in the
No,
dream.
no,
But
no.
I
I know,
literally
but it
said
felt
something
like
like, but
rapture.
like I was like, but I literally said like Jesus. I said Jesus
Yeah.
disciple them, or so, and then I woke up. But like, yeah, dude, it was like literally like this kid was just normal, like messing with flowers or something, and then just neck snap, look over at me, and leapt like 15 feet in the air and was like flying right at my door. And then like I said that, and I woke up, and I was like, what the fuck was that about? Like,
Wow.
I hope it's not a vision. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really have those. Tina apparently has those where she'll dream. It's not. It's like nonsensical stuff, but
Yeah.
she swears. She's like, I swear, I dreamt this. I told you about it. This is happening now. I'm like, don't tell me your dreams anymore because that's fucking scary. If so, because like you have
Yeah.
some bad dreams too. We gotta hope those are fiction and
Oh,
not
yeah.
reality. So.
No, that's crazy.
But I had no idea what would even cause that. It's not like I was watching anything.
Yeah.
I wasn't feeling any anxiety that day about anything of that sort. It just manifested somehow. Something in my head did that. But it was, and that was like last week. That was like I fell asleep on the couch after like
Yeah.
drawing. I was just like chilling
Maybe
because
that's
Tina's
what
like
it was.
a night
Yeah.
owl.
Yeah. Maybe
She
it
might have
was
even been watching something that
maybe
was
that's
just
what it was. Yeah, just
ominous.
like
You know what
you're-
I'm saying?
Yeah. And you're sleeping in like a
Because
place with
that does happen a lot. Because I do fall asleep. Because Tina doesn't really get to go to bed till like midnight or 1, and
okay.
I just can't hang. And I'm like, baby, I will do the thing where I fall asleep on the couch. You wake me up when it's time for bed, and we'll go to bed together. Because we go to bed together. This is what
Yeah,
we
yeah.
do.
Yeah,
And I will fall asleep. And there are a lot of times where she'll be watching like a cop show or something like that. And my dreams will definitely like I'm literally just the dialogue that's literally happening
yeah.
in real time is in
Yeah.
my dream, and I'm like half awake, and I'm like, oh, what the hell's going on? So that maybe something like that happened. Maybe
Yeah,
she was like,
maybe.
there was some sort of music or something that triggered a thought,
Oh,
and
dreams are so interesting, dude. I
it's so
I love it.
funny.
Like there have been so many. I haven't had one of those dreams in a while, but like I remember when I was younger, I used to have a lot of dreams where I would be saying something and I'd be saying it as I wake up, and I kind of like, but you catch yourself and you're like, what is, and then that and the oranges, and you're like the clown has no penis, like whatever, like, and you're looking around like, okay, I guess. What was
I
I saying?
guess
Like, why was I saying it out loud? Um,
Tina actually has a story of me doing that to her, like getting like
oh,
saying something to her, and then when she's like, "What?" I was like awake at that point, but not
yeah.
awake enough to
Oh
not get
God.
frustrated. I was just like,
Oh,
nothing. Like, I just went back to sleep.
mad at her.
Like,
That's
like I said
awesome.
something completely nonsensical. She's like, "What?" And I'm like, nothing.
You
Like I
don't
just
get
went
it,
back to sleep.
babe. God.
So
Yeah,
it's so much deeper than you could ever understand.
I've had some insane dreams. I don't want to talk about the one I had. But I will say I did have, dude, I don't know, I don't remember if I talked about it in the podcast. I think I might have, but I remember I had a very real alien dream or like UFO dream. It was when I was living with my parents, and dude, it was very much like I saw something through the window, or I thought I did, and I went outside, and it was like, saturated grass, like, like the wet concrete. Everything was very visceral, like very texture, based. I was just like, oh my, like it's very real. I just remember, like when I think of it now, it
So many
feels,
details were
and
real
that's
life details.
yeah, and like when I think of it now, it feels like a memory. That's what like drives me crazy.
Mm.
So I'm like, I can remember my feet being wet, and I remember being in the grass, and I remember walking off the grass into the driveway, and then going into the street, and my feet hurting a little on the like. I remember
On
that
the
stuff.
roughness
It's
of the
very
shell on the
yeah,
road.
yeah, and I remember it, and I know it's like I imagine. I'm not remembering it. I'm remembering the dream of it, sure, but it's not. But my brain is like it's certain that this happened, right? Um, so this is what. So I walk out, and I think I see something. So I kind of like I go into the grass, and I'm like looking, and I don't see I don't see what anything in the distance. So I kind of like look around. I'm like, what happened? And then I hear something, and I look up, and suddenly this giant thing appears above me, and it's just sitting there in like this very uncanny way, in a way that like I would love to see that, like in like living, like in my waking life, just looking up and seeing a flying saucer. Just it wasn't spinning that I can remember. It was just there, and I was like, oh my gosh, like what like this is amazing.
What
I was like,
is this?
I was like, I'm never looking away from this. Like, I'm going to stare at this until it's not there because I'm never going to experience anything like this again. Um, and I was like standing on the street. No, I was standing on the driveway, and I was just kind of like walking toward the street, and I'm looking up at this thing, just like standing in the middle of the street, looking at it, and suddenly, um, I just started feeling like it pulling me
The
up,
tug.
and I was just floating up, and I was just like, but what I remember is like being scared of the distance because I was like, oh my God, what if it drops me right now? I'm gonna die. I was like, if it drops me right now,
What
I'm
if they have a
literally gonna die.
malfunction and there's even in your dream you're just like
Yeah,
anxious Anthony?
that's what it was. I was like, well, it was so weird because I was like, I wasn't scared of like them taking me or like getting me in the ship. I was scared of like falling because I was like, oh my God, I'm really high up right now. This is crazy.
I'm the one human case that the aliens accidentally
Like,
dropped and then
whoops.
just
Like,
left me here.
Jimmy. Yeah, it's like Jimmy, you're not allowed to drive anymore. Like give me the claw machine. But anyway, so like as I reached the precipice or the as I reached like basically the threshold of the whatever it is, the ship, I woke up. Or at least that was my experience. I woke up in bed, and I swear, Steven, like I think my feet were just very cold because we have trouble telling the difference between cold and wet. But I remember
Mm.
feeling like, are my feet wet right now? And like I was like, I'm probably just
Oh
sweaty.
wow.
I was like, I'm probably just sweaty. I'm fine. You know, I was like, but I
What
was,
if it really did happen? What if you are one of the cases and
dude.
you just remember less than like the people that have experienced it? You know what I'm
I
saying?
yeah, I don't know. I always think that stuff is so interesting because I'm like, okay, well, if that were the case, right? Let's entertain it just for fun. Like, why me? You know, like what's like why? Because I mean, I or why not do it again? Or like, why not do it while I'm awake? I am willing. You know, like, hey, come hang out with me. Go ahead. I want to talk to you. I want to see these things. I'm just but anyway. I've had a couple of dreams like that. So like those, just to answer that question, we've had some weird dreams. So let me see. Then we have a Fred Hiker who asks, "What's your favorite kind of soup?" Mine's broccoli cheddar. It's
I
just
was
broccoli.
I was gonna say broccoli cheddar is probably the strongest. I like Italian wedding too a lot. I like herby brothy soups a lot, like with a lot of like flavor in it with chunks of stuff in it. I like a little spice, like a sausage and kale is good.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, I'm not a huge soup guy, but
yeah,
broccoli
broccoli.
and cheddar is probably the best. I mean, you can't go wrong.
No way.
Jason's Deli in
Oh,
particular, I don't know
so
why,
good.
it's just like one of the best.
It's my favorite for sure. All right, so our friend the Rat King, who always asks us questions, I will say, who I assume has an accent that I am not very familiar with, and I apologize for not perfectly understanding what your questions are sometimes. But I'm gonna read this as written, and we're going to decipher it as best we can. It says, "Ever had your heart broken by a woman or art something you put life into, thought was awesome, got nothing back?"
So, have you ever given yourself to something enough and then and that's broken you and
Right?
taken from you but not given back to you?
Okay.
I feel like
Um,
I feel like that's a pretty, I wouldn't say common, but I would say that's a relatively common thing that humans do unfortunately experience, whether it's like a relationship breakup or like the
yeah, but you
loss of a family member
yeah,
or
I do feel that I feel that with like loss, but that's more. But even with that, Steven, like I do think this is like kind of a perspective question, right? Because like
Mhm.
there's always something to get from every experience, good and bad. You know, like that.
And I'm Mr. Silver Lining too. Like
Yeah,
I am someone who like every time something tragic happens to me, I move the goalpost of what tragedy is and I
yeah.
reconfigure and I reappreciate and I reevaluate and just move, forth,
Yeah, so
Um
I understand like the inclination to feel as if you're not getting something, although you put in your everything. But what made you feel that love? What made you experience the fact that you're feeling that loss means that you felt as if you had something to lose, which means you did gain something. Whether or not you lost
mhm,
it is a different situation. So like getting nothing back, I mean, what you have now is a story always. But in addition
mhm,
to the story, you have the connection that you can have with every human willing to share with you their experience of heartbreak. I mean, our
mhm,
first graphic novella was literally about the worst breakup I've ever had. It was, it was my life was in shambles essentially. I started completely over with just nothing but like my son and I desperately begging my parents, for a bedroom, and then like being like, all right, we're gonna work from from the ashes and figure out what the heck we can do. So yeah, that was terrible, but what I gained from that was literally I use that to reach out to my friend and build this and connect with other people who have similarly lost things and similarly gone through those experiences. So I know it does suck to feel that way, and I definitely like struggled for a while with that. And I know that losing people is different, but even in that, you don't gain from the loss of them, with the exception of maybe the ability to appreciate what you once had. But what you know is
mhm.
you lost something that you've had for an extended or for a period of time that was important to you. So it's I don't know. I don't I find it hard to subscribe to the idea that we don't get anything, from something that we lose.
It's really what you choose, And then like just to feed into what Rat King is asking though,
Yeah.
maybe to some extent, maybe we haven't been maybe we don't have that specific experience where we really do feel robbed of everything that we gave,
Right.
Maybe we're fortunate, maybe we
Right.
are
Right.
fortunate enough to have experienced a
I
loss, but not to the degree in which Rat King is describing. That's a very real possibility
it's
because every
That's
human
very true.
experience is different,
Um
you
I will
know?
say we also tend to look at things through the lens of people who are creatives. Like
Yeah.
I see stories in everything. So like if I
Mm.
experience something and someone breaks my heart and someone cheats on me and someone, steals something from me or, like I mean, I've had stalkers. I've had people try to ruin my life,
Mm.
and like
Mm.
like what did I have to gain from that? Not a lot, except for the ability to know I can survive. Like I
Mm.
learned something
The
about
proof of
myself.
tenacity is pretty great. Like I will say, Rat King, you are typing this question, which means that at the very least they may have taken everything from you, but they've proven your tenacity at least. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah, and
But
that's kind of my problem. And is like I said, like I mean I don't think it's a problem, but I truly do have such a silver lining. Like I always look for the next like the best thing I can focus on after
yeah.
something horrible happens, and that's just really all we can do because I don't care who you are in this world. You could be the most wealthy, you can be the poorest, you can be anyone. You are going to have an experience in your life that is going to reshape who you are, fundamentally sweep out, your leg. You're gonna have to crane kick your way back in. Like it's just what it is. Like,
And there will
but yeah,
always be people
pretty
saying put him in a body bag and trying to get rid
put
of
them in a
you.
body bag.
But don't
And
worry.
then that person that you crane kick is going to get their own show in the future, and we're going to get to see their
All
side of the
right.
story, and then they have a full circle.
All right. Steven, which milk makes the best chocolate milk?
It's whole milk.
Whole milk.
It has
Whole
to be
milk,
red milk.
definitely.
You need the fattest milk. I would almost say half and half. It probably makes the best
Yeah.
chocolate milk.
Okay. Oh, that was from. I'm sorry. That was from our friend Ranch. It was Ranch Handwriter. Match Spectro through the multiverse asked, in Halloween 3, did Tom Atkins actually have sex with a robot? I need to watch Halloween 3 again. I'm pretty sure he did have sex with a robot because there's a twist, and it doesn't matter. It's a million years old, and most people who haven't watched it by now aren't going to watch it. But there's a twist in it where some people in it, or there's at least one android in it. And I'm pretty sure
Mm,
it's the woman that,
which implies robot
which
human relations.
yes, and I'm pretty sure Tom Atkins, the actor, or well, his character had sex with this woman before we found out she was replaced by a robot. So
Mm.
I'm pretty sure he had sex with a robot. Our final question, I think, is a good one. Let me see. So it's from Stu World Order, our good friend Stu. He asks, what are the first five comics you remember owning, Steven?
Ooh. So I gotta think before the time with us. I had I had fuck what's the name? Fatal Attractions. I had the X-Men comic where Wolverine's skeleton gets ripped out by
Mm-hmm.
Magneto. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, I had it, and I'll never forget. I accidentally left it in my car on the back,
Mm-hmm.
and the sun bleached out the back of the cover where Wolverine's on the ground,
Yeah.
and I think Magneto's hand, because it was a double sided. It was like in the front and the back. Like when you open it up, it was the full spread or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the back was like bleached out black and white. I'm like, huh. I wonder if people would think this was like a rare printing
Oh
variant if I
my
kept it
God.
like this,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it literally looked untouched otherwise. It's just it bleached the comic colors out.
That's awesome.
But that was one. Probably, honestly, for the most part, I can't really remember my 90s collection. I definitely remember my early 2000s collection more so. And I was into like Ultimate Spider Man, New Avengers, Uncanny X Force,
Yeah.
all the Deadpool, Cable Deadpool stuff, and all that. But it was probably just some random X-Men comics from the
Yeah.
90s. That's like what I mostly remember. Because, I mean, if you were a kid in the 90s, the X-Men were the biggest thing in the world at that point. So, yeah, I would say it was X-Men.
Mine, the actual first comics I ever owned were like Robotech and these random basically they were all comics that nobody wanted that my Aunt Joanne, her ex-boyfriend, left at her house, and I wanted some of them, but I wasn't allowed to have some of them, and then like they divvied them up among my cousins and stuff, and I basically got table scraps. Like I got like
Mm.
what was left over, and it was like, oh, no one wants these Robotech comics or these, whatever. So it was just a bunch of like things that I didn't really want, but I was like, I'll take them, and I just like I would just look through them. It was like Rom and like Robotech, and like all these. There were a couple of like kind of cool things in there, but nothing great. Like I did like, and then I remember I had like the Max, And I remember I had
That's a cool
yeah.
random.
And then like my cousin Gary, when I was very young, just after that, started letting me borrow comics, which like isn't really like me having them, but it was like The Tick and Madman and like certain, just those kind of comics. Then when I was 14, I got my first job in a comic shop. And then I started buying like Deadpool comics and Gambit comics and anything I could find that seemed cool at the time. But I had a lot
Mm-hmm.
of Gambit.
And there was a lot of cool to look at in the
Yeah,
90s, like the art and everything was like it was so it
yeah.
the 90s is where the big jump from like
Oh
art
yeah,
styles really changed. You know what I'm saying? Like where
yeah,
you kind of went from that silver age, like don't get me wrong, that artwork is fantastic too, but just this over the top, like Todd McFarlane-esque, like grotesquely brute, like crazy
yeah.
like
The
creatures
Pick
and stuff, and it
comics
was
and stuff.
just
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I had a bunch of stuff, and I used to love just going through the dollar bins, and I would find like weird indie comics like Boris the Bear and like Milk and Cheese and the Flaming Carrot comics. Like I would just find anything that looked cool to me and just would randomly read it. I remember for the longest time, I had my email address was a shrine to me at AOL.com,
I
and it was.
remember that
Do you remember
on
that?
AIM. I remember
Yeah.
messaging you
It
on
was
AIM.
yeah, it was
So
when I was on AIM, and people were always, of course, like, "Oh, what are you full of yourself?" It was literally a reference to this comic book called Too Much Coffee Man, and it was one of the mini comics that he had was called A Shrine to Myself. And I was like, "Oh yeah, okay." So I was like, "A Shrine to Myself," because like I liked it. It was just like a fun indie comic, and it was like, one of those things that influenced me because I was like, this looks like something I can do in the best and worst way. It's like
mhm.
I could draw that guy. I can draw that guy right now. And you start feeling like I can do that. When I look at certain things, I'm like, that's beautiful and it inspires me to want to be better, but it doesn't make me feel like I can do it. It's like hearing
Mm-hmm.
someone play piano and do, performing this incredible piece and you're like, "Ah, I can't do that, but I could play a few notes," like but anyway, yeah. So those are our comics that we have. Those are all of our questions. If you have questions for us, feel free to ask them below in the comments. You can always ask them to us on Twitter or X or whatever. Sometimes I'm on Threads, and we have a Facebook group for our We Have Issues, which I should post here. I don't post that enough. Maybe we'll get some new cultists. I mean colonists. We'll get there.
You
Otherwise,
dirt drinkers, you.
but this has been our show for the week. Steven, what are you doing this week? What are you working on?
This week I got I got
So
pages,
much.
buddy.
Yeah,
I
oh,
got
yeah.
I got till next Wednesday, so I'm gonna be grinding.
Yeah, I as much as I would love to finish Deathless, which like we're gonna jump into as soon as possible, we have like a couple of weeks to get this book done. So we're going to work really hard on getting Bloodlust done. So this week I'm gonna color like as much as I can. That's pretty much it. I also do have to plan Dungeons and Dragons for this Saturday because thankfully we get to play again. I'm
Dude,
very
this Saturday's so busy. This
yeah,
Saturday's so my sister's baby showers at 1.
dude,
So
Steven,
you guys are coming to us, so it's great. You can
Steven,
just
my brother's son is having a birthday party at 1 o'clock. So it's literally we have
so we're both doing the same thing.
no
We're
the same
both
thing.
just like,
Yeah, the crazy.
welcome to your 30s, early 40s, everyone.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
this is
dude.
just what it is.
It's nuts. But that's what we're doing this week. That's thank you all for joining us. Thank you for being a part of this. We really appreciate you. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you go back my wife Carly's book on Kickstarter and just hang in there, Rat King and anyone who's going through the bad times and there's always something to gain from everything. Steven, you want to say
Absolutely.
anything to the people?
Thank you so much for contributing by asking us these questions, by caring enough about both of us to even come up with questions for us. We love each and every one of you very much, and we're very thankful for each and every one of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you all. We really appreciate you. Until next time, I'm Anthony.
I'm Stevie Wildcard.
This has been We Have Issues. We'll see you next week.
I'm gonna have the kids do the boom, okay? I'm gonna let you guys do the boom for the week. You know, I do a boom at the end of every episode. Oh well, every end of every episode, Daddy does like a special boom. This week, what I'm gonna have you guys do is you're gonna sing the How I Met Your Mother theme song, but with booms, okay?
I forgot it.
You don't. Oh, Cammy, I'll help you. Like, boom, 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 boom. It almost sounds like I'm loving it, really. Boom, 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 boom. But anyways, Cambria.
I was on the phone with Miss Carly just now.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
That's
Hello,
my
everyone.
wife.
And this is my daughter Chasey. She's gotten so big, it's crazy. I'm still taller than you when I'm sitting down though. You do a boom to whatever theme song you know, and just instead of singing the words, sing boom instead. Just whatever you can think of.
I'm trying to think.
Maybe Bluey.
I don't want to do.
Well, baby, this is just supposed to be like a fun little thing you do real quick.
I
Mr.
know.
Anthony's got to go.
It doesn't have to be a theme
What?
song. It can be any kind of boom.
Does that, or it could be like a phrase. Like what's like a, what's like what's the show? What's a show you watch that has a theme song?
I watch a lot of shows with.
I know you do. That's what I'm asking.
But I never remember.
Just do a very creative boom. Just think of like, just say boom in the most creative way you can think of for the second.
Boom.
You gotta lean into it and look into it. Oh my god. She said it. Hi, dude. That was so loud.
That was so loud.
It blew everyone's eardrums
I think
out.
he blew up the speaker. That was a real boom. That was our first real explosion.
I think you might have blown my RE32.
I think we're all dead.
I love you, dude.
All right, love you, dude. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye bye.
Bye. That wait cuts back.
What's up, dude?
What's up, dude? How's life?
Whew. Non-stop. Non-stop work and drawing. Like literally just pavers all day and drawing all night. So
Oh, dude. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I've been stressing a little bit, but it's okay. I'm trying to think. Anything you want to talk about this week that I might not have written down?
not
I mean,
that
I
I
did.
can think of. My life's been pretty straightforward lately, so
Okay. Um, I wrote Steven's issues, but I also just wrote I saw Steven's uncle at work today. So I'll talk about that.
was he as Jason as he usually is?
Yeah, I'll tell you. I don't want to. I don't want to cold open a Jason story because I figure it'll, it's too inside baseball. But
you gotta slide. You gotta do a little. There needs to be a little bit of.
We need a little bit of
warm-up,
context.
You know?
We gotta.
There's a little foreplay that is involved before you just ram the whole Jason in. You know.
Oh my God! It's true, Jason. If you're watching this, all right.
Did Jason recognize you though? By the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I will.
Okay.
I'll
We'll get to it. But
I'll tell you the whole story, and it's interesting. Because it's Jason. Of course it is. Okay. So, dude,